Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of Mum's the Word interviews. I'm joined today by Nick. And Nick was so kind to also write for my book, which at this stage of the interview has still not been published, but we are slowly moving forward on that one. So, Nick, do you want to say a little bit about yourself? And you're in a great place there because we can see your son above you, but explain about your situation.
Yep. So I live at home with my husband, Jason, and we have an 11-year-old son. He's just about to start his transition to high school. We have a lovely home that we've made together for Max, and we're at a good place in our parenting at the moment.
And stepmom as well, aren't you as well?
Stepmom as well to Katie. Yeah, she's just about to turn 15.
Okay. So, ready for high school. Does that fill you with dread, or do you think he's ready? Or because it's a big different step, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely filling me with quite a bit of dread at the moment, waiting for him to start. We have, over the last few months, discovered that Max is autistic. So that brings with it a whole new load of challenges that we've not had to deal with beforehand. I think because he is an only child, in the sense that he's the only one who lives with us,
Mm.
we've not really seen how it is for different children. Um, so those who are neurodivergent, what we've seen is atypical of what we thought parenting was going to be like. But
Mm.
now we've discovered that he is neurodivergent. Things are starting to click into place a little bit. So we are sort of dreading the school change because he's got so used to primary school. He's been there for 7 years. And now he's moving on to something completely different where there is going to be more children in his year than there have been in the entire school. So
Mm.
he's gone from a really small village school to now going to a massive high school. So yeah, it does fill us with some dread.
Is it filling him with dread as well? Or
No, he seems to be a bit better because his best friend is going to be in the same form as him. That seems to help. And his friend is very much a social butterfly. So
mm.
I know that he will help Max to meet new people because the he has the confidence to go and to talk to new people. And obviously Max will be with him and he will make new friends that way.
Mm.
And hopefully he will pick up on the social cues and be able to make his own friends in time.
Mm. Yeah, like you say, he'll have the support
Yeah.
from his friend. So obviously that's been a challenging stage. Is there any other aspect you think of that's been difficult for you as a mum? I know you've wrote in the book about the early years, but anything that really stands out for you throughout your mothering journey?
I think the thing that stands out was the issues that both myself and my husband have had with our mental health. We're both diagnosed bipolar. Um, it was very difficult in the beginning. When I was pregnant, Jace was actually in a as an inpatient. Um, so it was very difficult in the very beginning because he wasn't there. But as things have gone on over the years, Jace has improved with his mental health, and we've worked together to get through the issues. Max has been a big driving force in everything that we've done.
So has there been any point do you feel that there's might been some judgment there at all then because of your mental health from others or
Yeah, I feel there's been a lot of judgment about mental health. I think there is a big stigma around it in society still. As much as we try and break it down, I think the stigma is still there. There was a point a few years ago where an anonymous complaint was made to social services regarding our parenting. We then had to be investigated. They closed the case within a week and said that they'd got no concerns whatsoever. School had no concerns, but it was just the fact that because we were struggling with our mental health, somebody thought that we weren't fit to be parents when that just wasn't the case.
mm,
What was happening with us was not impacting on our
no?
ability
Mm,
to parent. It was our own individual mental health issues.
Mm. And like you say, and about that stigma, it's about not labeling everybody the same and understanding that, parents, people can parent very, very positively,
Mhm.
because it's an illness and doesn't need to be judged at all.
Yeah.
Is there any other things, any proud moments that you feel? I guess there's many, but any proud moments that stand out for you as a mum?
The best thing that I have seen was in Max's school play. He got up on stage and sang a solo in front of all of the parents. He was the only child who had a solo to sing in the play. And I was so proud of him because he struggled so much with his confidence and his self-esteem that, I mean, he was really, really anxious in the lead up to it, but he did it. He got up there, he wore a skirt because that was what, his character was a
Mm,
female. So he wanted to wear a skirt. It was all his choice. And he got up there and he belted it out and he just didn't care what he sounded like. He just got on and did it. To hear the amazing applause that he got at the end of it,
mm.
just phenomenal. Yeah, it was really good. Very proud of him.
Oh, and then I'm asking this question to everybody as well. What stage was it when anything that happens where you think, oh gosh, I am a mum now? Is there anything normally earlier on in the days? I know mine was in the first couple of days, but is there anything that stands out? You think, yeah, this is me. I'm a mum now.
When he was actually born, I think I was in a bit of shock because I was just looking at him thinking, "Oh my God, it's real! I've created you." The midwife picked him up and put him on me, and I just looked at him and I was just thinking, "Oh my God!" It was like my whole world just changed in that moment,
Mm,
and I realised I've got this little person to look after now
mm.
for the rest of my life. So yeah, that it was very, very quick that I thought, "Oh my God."
And I think that's so hard to describe, isn't it?
Yeah,
That is that this is it now. I am responsible for everything that goes on in their life.
yeah, definitely.
So in your book, you wrote about I think it was the chapter um, about being pregnant and then the birth, obviously. What was that like for you in terms of pregnancy? Did you enjoy
Pregnant
being pregnant or?
I loved being pregnant in the sense that I loved that he was there and he was safe and I could feel him moving. That was the highlight of pregnancy. Unfortunately, it was quite a hard pregnancy for me. I've got quite a few health issues and they were sort of magnified when I was pregnant. He was born late as well. He had to be induced. He decided that he was going to inhale some meconium on his way out and ended up with an infection on his lungs. And we ended up spending a week on Skaboo. But he was there, he was mine, he was looked after really well. And the day we got to bring him home is probably one of the proudest days of my life because
Mm,
he was just amazing. He was just this little cute bundle.
no. And is it like you say, you never really tend to forget them days, do you? That them special moments, them first early days. And I know in my book I've wrote a lot. That's probably the biggest chapter of, those for each
Yeah.
of mine as well. So what would you say, particularly to perhaps mums that are struggling with their own mental health? What advice would you offer any other mums at all?
I would say make some time for yourself. I think that's really, really important. Whether if baby's struggling, so Max struggled a lot with colic in the early days, and Jason was working at night, which was typically when he was having the issues with colic. And the main thing that I always remember my mum telling me was you need to take 5 minutes. If you're struggling, put the baby somewhere safe and go and take
Yeah.
5 minutes to have a
Mm,
brew. Even if you're not with them, they're still going to be crying,
yeah.
for 5 minutes, go and have your cup of tea and just
Mm,
calm yourself down. I think that is one of the biggest take homes that I remember from those early days was
mm.
just give yourself 5 minutes if you need it. As long as baby is somewhere safe, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for doing this and also taking the time to write as well for the book, because I've really appreciated, and I would definitely admit that there's so many times I've wanted to give up, but I'm glad that I've got other people that have contributed, so I know I need to make this happen as well. But thanks so much for your time
That's
and
okay.
for sharing the story of the lovely little Max, so we can just see above your head there as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank
brilliant.
you.
Thank you for having me.